All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets today on PrizePicks, mostly because they just dropped 5 discounts, which they are calling flowers. We're going to be talking about how to go about attacking those prop bets today. But first, going to start off with talking about some quick updates that I made on the 9 to 5 PrizePicks cheat sheet. So guys, just a quick update here. So I did add in, re-add in a bunch of different sports, esports stuff, tennis in there as well, that will be treated as middles for the most part. So we don't get average sportsbook line data really for like something, let's say we got Dota here. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. Like, I don't do esports, but I have the data available, so I want to make it available to you guys. And so I did that there with, and I'll just pull up those ones directly here. So like, here we go. Got all those different ones pulled up. So we got MMA in there. Now we can attack some middles there, tennis in there. And then again, a bunch of the esports prop bets that we currently have as well. I'm going to work on adding in more and more as well back into the PrizePicks cheat sheet. And then I'll be doing the same here for Underdog as well. Again, I had the data available, so might as well get that out to you guys. So like, a good example of a nice part about doing this is, well, one, we do get a lot of random discounts available for esports prop bets where you can only do or promos where you can only do an esports bet. So this makes us be able to do better decisions or make better decisions. And so like a good example that would be here with was that XTS? The screen's a little bit further away than it might seem here. But whatever. His map 1 and 2 headshots here, guys, is at 14 on PrizePicks. On Underdog, it's at 15.5. So obviously that's a good middle opportunity. We'd want to be betting the over on PrizePicks, the under on Underdog. So I want to start with that. But also I did add in a few more prop bets for the NBA cheat sheets as well. All right, so real quickly, a few of the ones that I have added in there are going to be like quarter 1 prop bets. So right now we only have... well, we have all of them. So we got quarter 1 points, quarter 1 rebounds, and quarter 1 assists. Okay, so that's just going to be a breakdown of all those prop bets. But I do want to call it that because they're just specifically 4 quarters, they're not going to be popping up with the projection data, with the average, or anything like that, DVP rank. That's not going to be pulling in there, okay? This is on the Underdog sheet. We typically get those prop bets there. Whereas if we go into the PrizePicks NBA cheat sheet, I have that added in there as well, but we are going to see that we are getting some field goals made prop bets here as well. Okay, so that was another thing that I added in there. And we also have blocks and steals added in there as well as different prop bets that we have. Again, I'm always trying to provide more and more data for you guys if possible, especially without raising the price. So far I've been able to do that. So again, just added in all that stuff here. And we can see we got one good prop bet right now. We got Missy for under his field goals made a 3.5. That's currently a good EV bet right there. And that's part of the reason as to why I wanted to get that added in there as well. And then just while we're talking about updates, I do want to call it that some quick updates kind of behind the scenes that I'm working on, just adding in more of a mobile emphasis to the data. Obviously, most of this is set up for desktop use. It can be used on mobile devices, but mostly set up for desktop use. And then also, I do want to add in some soccer props. I mentioned in the Discord chat, some leagues that I could add in there. So that's kind of what's next on the horizon. If anyone's kind of wondering where I'm going to be, putting the primary focuses for updates, adding in some soccer props, and then making it a little bit more mobile friendly for some of the sheets as well. Now with that, guys, apologies for the little fluff that started the video here. Let's go ahead and get into the top prop bets today. All right, so on PrizePicks, they're giving us 5 discounts right now, which is pretty awesome. So we got Tyler Hero over 17.5 points, SGA over 25.5 points, James Harden over 17.5 points, Anthony Edwards over 21.5 points, and then Sabonis over 11.5 rebounds. Now, will these all hit? Probably not. Honestly, even if they go 3 for 5, that's still going to be good. Like, we'll always take that, right? That's in about 60%. We'll take that. And so with that, guys, we'll stick with the NBA prop bets that we are currently getting. So just looking at some of the bets that we have, Chet Holmgren for over his fantasy scores, an interesting one here, 30.5. We can see across the board a pretty good one, minus the matchup there with the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are coming in off of a loss against my Milwaukee Bucks without Lillard and without Giannis. So it's kind of a fun game. I know you're not. NBA is weird. NBA is so weird, guys. So much fluff in this video. Apologies, but like, it's weird how like off the court stuff really doesn't matter. Like cheering for KPJ to have a good game, and he kind of locked down Edwards and was clutch in the closing time. It's weird cheering for that. Whereas any other sport, like players really don't get a pass. It's strange. But Kuzma having a good game. It was fun. It was a fun game there. But anyways. You do have the Timberwolves coming in off of the back end of back-to-back. Maybe someone randomly sits. Maybe Gobert ends up sitting. Maybe Reed ends up sitting. I don't know. That could create a little bit of advantage then for Chet Holmgren. The biggest issue with Holmgren is the minutes. We're probably still not going to see his minutes rise at all. But that doesn't really matter. He is a point per minute type producer. Obviously, we need to get over that. That's really going to bank on him getting some blocks and steals is going to be the difference there, but seemingly a decent bet. We are seeing Klay Thompson for under his fantasy score. Again, he does draw a little bit more of a difficult matchup. He's been someone that, looking at the last 5 average, struggling there. And so, yeah, if you're looking at the last 5 average, you probably feel pretty comfortable betting that. But then from there, guys, we only have 3 good prop bets on PrizePicks. So again, with the discounts that we have, what I would tell people to do, and this just depends on you guys and, if you're being limited or not. If you're being limited, just do a 5 slip or 6 slip bet here. Okay. But if you're not being limited, what you'd want to do is 2 slip bets for all these. So you'd want to do, assuming that you have like $25 available, you do equals like 5 bets total. Okay. At that of the 2 slip bets. And that way you're just ensuring that you're going to have a good and profitable day when we get these discounts. Now that's not always going to happen. Taco Tuesday on Tuesday was not a good day for me. That's going to happen. You're going to have misses, but in the long term, just take advantage of the free money that they're trying to throw at you. And so, like in summary, these 3 good prop bets that we currently have: Klay Thompson under fantasy score, Chet Holmgren over fantasy score, and then Missy for under 3.5 field goals made. That's where we are getting decent edges. And now, guys, we go ahead here and get into some college basketball prop bets as well. And so the first one, Derek Queen for under his fantasy score. We are going to notice that the projection data does like the over. Again, guys, I'm going to keep saying this, but with the college basketball prop bets specifically, I do want to wait and see what the underdog lines are going to be as well, just to see if we have a middling opportunity at all, because there have been some pretty big prop line differences. A good example of that, Ace Bailey was a fantasy score prop bet that was off by like 5.5. Now, he didn't end up middling. The better decision was actually on PrizePicks for his over fantasy score that had about a 53.5 percentage. That was nice to see. But the fact that we were able to see that his PrizePicks line was off by, or his underdog line was off by that much compared to PrizePicks, that was certainly interesting. And what we're going to notice is that we are getting, a few decent bets here as well. That's the thing. I honestly think that they're giving us these flowers, if you will, because it's such a limited board today in terms of the good prop bets that we're having. We got Gillespie for, for under 18.5 points and rebounds. Again, the projection data likes the over. That's a little bit unfortunate. We got Michael for over his fantasy score, a seemingly decent bet there. And then we are seeing Marcus Williams. These correlate decently well together, but again, the projection data likes the over for both of them. But we can see if he's getting his under points and assists, that actually does lead to him getting under his points and rebounds, so that does make sense. So some decent bets here. We'll see as the day progresses, but right now we're not getting too many. I do want to point out one other prop bet as well. Oh, never mind. They updated. So I was going to say Scotty Scheffler on underdog. We would actually want to be betting on his over strokes of 70, but they bumped it. So the lines have been changing a little bit. For golf, guys, the weather is projected to be kind of poor. And a lot of the golf props that are popping up for golf, the golfers that have later tee times, maybe the weather makes the play get suspended to the point where they're actually finishing their roundup in another day where the course ends up playing a little bit easier than expected. That's kind of the annoying part. It's like the weather could end up being so bad that play gets suspended. But if it doesn't, it's going to be tough for golfers to score. And so underdogs lines are all a little bit too high. And all right, guys, we literally, as I was going to finish and give you guys the bet of the day, we are getting some underdog prop bets. So I want to show this out. So Derek Queen, we look at the game log, pretty ugly. Like, we don't like that. The fact that he's gotten the over in 4 out of his past 5 games, that is ugly. And if you're someone that wants to bet the over on on underdog because of that, you can do that. But that is a big prop line difference. That should not be happening. His line here of 28 points. Let's just round up to 29. That's off by 4.5. Like, that is crazy. That should not be happening. And so, like, we are getting a clear defined edge there with the PrizePicks line, especially compared to what the average sportsbook line is telling us. Now, the projection data does like the over. We're not getting 3 for 3 there in terms of all data points agreeing, but it's all about making the best decisions possible on each and every slate. And with Derek Queen, we are going to notice maybe a middle there. Data is telling us to bet the under with the average sportsbook data. So we're going to be doing that there on PrizePicks. All right, guys. So getting into the 9 to 5 bet of the day here. But first, I want to remind you guys of the 9 to 5 membership. If you guys want access to all the tools that you saw in this video, as well as all the fantasy golf tools. NFL season is over, but with that, we have PGA DFS and fantasy golf going as well. Get all the tools available for that included in your membership here. But obviously, you guys care about the PrizePicks Underdog prop tools. Get access to all the tools for just $10 a month, guys. Take advantage of that. Best deal out there. But with that, let's go ahead now and get into the 9 to 5 bet of the day. All right, so getting to the 9 to 5 bet of the day. I am running out one of my favorite bets with, again, just kind of betting on the weather here with Ludwig Aubert to get under 3.5 birdies or better. I decently like that. The data likes that as well. He is someone that has been a little bit weird. He withdrew from an event because he was sick. Don't really know what's going on. But again, if the weather is difficult, it is tough to imagine golfers get into 4 birdies or better. It'll be a sweat, okay, but I decently like that one. And we're just taking advantage of the other prop bets that we currently have that I touched on during this video that are all pretty solid bets for us as well. This one will probably get bumped. You guys know by now I hate including those in there, but it is currently one of the better bets that we have, so I'm going to include that. Again, if you guys are a 9-5 member, just make sure before you place any bets to double check the cheat sheet. Odds change throughout the day a bunch, and with that, we need to be making our best decisions possible. Actually, referencing that, the last video I put out, Brendan Smith, his fantasy score flipped. It was a weird day where at first, to open the day, the under was favorited there. And then I ended up putting in the comment section that his fantasy score flipped. And then actually Underdog's line that they had as well started out the same as the PrizePicks line at 37.5. That went up by like 3.5 throughout the day. It was very weird. That does happen though. That's just the point I want to drive home. Just make sure before you place bets, you're just double checking to make sure that those are still the same. Now, the fantasy score lines, typically they're not fluctuating that much. Typically, they're pretty good for us, but you never know. Just make sure to double check that. All right, that is going to be all, guys. Thank you for watching. Good luck with all your bets today. Give a like, subscribe to the channel. That's all. And as always, let's keep cashing.